Hello, my beautiful children of the stars and spiritual seekers. Today, I'm going to give you 7 hard rules how to keep safe when working with the other side, when doing your psychic work, when doing your spiritual practices, when connecting to spirit. So keep watching till the end because this is really, really important for anyone who is a spiritual seeker. You are divine. Those who are new, welcome! I'm Natasha, Cosmic Empress, doing this video today on the day of the winter solstice. It's the shortest day of the year, and I felt guided to put this out there because this is the day where a lot of us like to dive deep. We like to go, maybe do a little bit of shadow work. Okay, so it's really important to know what you're doing so you don't get lost, so you don't get misguided, so you don't get negatives coming to give you messages, so you don't get attacked psychically, so you can stay safe and stay connected to the light. That gives us point number 1. We're going to start right away. Point number 1, a rule that you should follow, which I follow. Before starting any kind of psychic work, spiritual practice, to stay safe, call in your grid of light. Okay, call in your grid of light. Establish a safe space for you to work. And I recommend calling in the 4 archangels. I talk about this a lot, and it is so important. It is so important. So don't just go and say, okay, I'm going to dive in and, connect to the other side. You have to be in a safe space. You have to be protected. And if you call in that archangelic grid of light, the archangels have the highest vibration. And if you call in the archangels of light, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Camiel, you can call in others as well that you know of, Archangel Metatron. There are so many others that you can call in that you feel closely connected to, but call those in. And if you're not sure, say each archangel's name 3 times. Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael of the divine light, love, and truth. If you say this, no negative entity or demon or anything is going to be able to come in, because that is the rule. Okay, so call in your grid of light. And for those of you who feel very, very, very negative, who say, oh, I'm deep down, I've been down and out, I've been doing some things I shouldn't, perhaps you even perceive that you're a negatively oriented soul, you can always connect to the light. And it's actually easy. So connecting to the light, connecting your inner core to the light and establishing a grid of archangels works for everybody, right? We can all connect to the light at any time. So rule number 1, connect to the light. I'm going like this. I don't know why. It's like, I'm so passionate about this because so many of you who have worked with have gotten off the track, have truly connected to anything but light beings and have been psychically attacked, have been compromised, have gotten false information. All right, so this is actually video 1 of 2 videos that I'm gonna film and put out in the next couple of days, right? This one is about the 7 rules you must follow. The next one will be directly about false guides, the false light, and psychic addiction. So we will go deeper into the subject matter in video number 2. Okay, so rule number 2, when you are doing psychic work, spiritual practices, don't do it when you're in a negative state of anguish, of pain, of negative vibrations, of desperation. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because if you're in a negative state and you're like, oh, I need to know, I want to ask my guides, I want to, get my cards, I need to know. If you're in that negative state of a low vibration and you know when you're in that state, you're feeling pain, you're feeling bad, then you're a match to negative entities. You're a match for negative energies. They perceive you. So if you are feeling like, oh, I don't know what to do, I need some guidance, I want to connect, don't start doing this work, okay? Rule number 2, don't do this work when you're in anguish. What you can do instead, and this is what I do, when I am feeling anguished and I don't know what to do and I'm confused and I'm feeling down, what I do, I ask my archangels and my heavenly team of light to bring me peace. That's all you should do. ask your heavenly team of light to bring you peace. Emphasis on heavenly team of light. To raise your vibration, to bring you peace, to make you feel calm. That's what I do. So when I'm starting to feel flustered and I'm feeling bad, and for whatever reason, and I need answers, I don't go and ask for things. I don't start channeling. I don't do any of that. I just call in my archangels. I call in my heavenly team of light, of guardian angels, angels, spirit guides, even my galactic team. Emphasis again on team of light. And I say, help me right now. I'm in anguish. Help me. Help me feel peace. Bring peace into my heart. Help me feel love. Raise my vibration. Help me feel calm. And then I just focus on the light and focus on angelic presence. And you know what? Within 2 or 3 minutes, I'm calm, I'm peaceful, I'm feeling good again. And then in a little while, I'm ready to do some work. But usually I don't do this right afterwards. So usually I recommend, and this is actually a rule, the rule number 2. Here it is again, the fist. Rule number 2, do your spiritual practice and psychic work when you're in a calm, positive, balanced space. Or else you will get wrong answers, or else you will get answers that you wish for. If you're desperately wanting some information, you need to tell me, I need to know from the other side, then you're going to get some negative information or negatives coming in, matching to your desperation. Okay, is that clear? So that was rule number 2. Rule number 3, do not practice black magic. All right? For a lot of you, this is clear. For some of you watching, it may not be clear. So I'm going to do a definition here. For the sake of this video, it's not a professional definition, but it's the definition for the sake of this message. Black magic or witchcraft, now I define as using the dark forces, using dark energies, entities, souls, negative spells that influence other people against their free will. Anything that uses sacrifice, bargains, contracts, anything like that is black magic and what I consider witchcraft. Okay, now of course, magic or earth magic is beautiful and positive. This is where I make the distinction. So if what you're doing is witchcraft and it's also positive of the light, doesn't use any of those things that I mentioned, then it's okay. But for this definition's sake, witchcraft or black magic is using the shadows to create something, to connect, to channel. All right? Black magic and witchcraft uses possession, uses contracts, and always, always there are negative entities involved. You cannot go around that. If you influence someone else, or if you're doing something for that matter, you think you're doing it all by yourself because you're so powerful, you're wrong. You're inviting negative entities or demons, if you want to say that word, to come into your field and work with them. And you may not even know this. This is where the whole subject of false guides comes in. I'm going to make a whole video on that. But it's not good to work with these. Why? You may say, oh, but that's shadow work. It's not shadow work. It's not shadow work. Shadow work is looking at those painful, traumatized parts of you and healing them with the forces of light. Shadow work is not using the forces of dark. Okay, that's black magic or witchcraft. Shadow work is healing yourself, maybe looking at those dark aspects, looking at the dark sides, being aware of them, but then healing them with the use of angels, guides, energy, using it by means of positive magic, positive energies, positive modalities, always with a light. Okay, you see what I'm getting at here? All right, I think you know what I mean. So that is really, really, really important to not use black magic or witchcraft. Another reason why you shouldn't do this is like, if you think, oh, but I'm going to use this, I'm just going to use this to do something and then I'll get away from it. No, there's always a contract involved. If you use black magic or this black negative witchcraft, in the end, you're going to be affected. You're going to have entities hanging onto you. You're going to get yourself into some sort of contract or bargain or something where you will also suffer, right? So you have to know this. Okay, so that is hard and fast rule number 3. Do not practice witchcraft or black magic. The next one, and this is really important, this kind of ties into the other one. Do not, in your practice, interfere with anyone else's free will and choice, right? Spells turn into black magic spells as soon as you cast a spell where someone else is involved, where you're trying to influence someone else. And there's a fine line. I'm all for spells of white magic, magical spells, where you are using the elements or using energies for your own benefit, not including anything or anyone else, right? That is spell work, which is positive, which is just another word for manifestation. Manifestation is instant magic, so I think that is fine. But as soon as someone else is involved, for example, I know that a lot of you want to know, how can I get my ex back? How can I attract my twin flame? How can I get someone specific to send me a text? There's a lot of manifestation. That's actually black magic. As soon as you're trying to influence someone to send you a text, you're gaslighting them. You are influencing them. You are putting a spell on them, and that is not okay. That is not okay. And as soon as you go into that, you're already attracting negatives, because it's a negative practice. It's black magic, influencing anyone else. So make sure that if you are doing any kind of work, even healing work, do not overstep anyone else's free will. That's why when I work in the Akashic Records and I work on behalf of a third party, I have to be very, very careful that we're not trying to heal someone else that doesn't know and doesn't even want it, that's not even aware of it, right? So it's a very fine line. If you have children, of course, or a spouse or friends who you see are in a very bad way, prayer, I believe, is permitted. Prayer is permitted because it is not exactly interfering with their free will. It is sending positive energy towards them in a gentle way, and it's up to them to accept it or not. But even there, you have to draw the line. Right? If you feel that someone is really evil and bad and you keep praying for them and wanting to heal them and they really don't want this, then you're again interfering with their free will, and then you have to stop. So it's up to you to understand where that line is. You know what I mean? So it's not safe and not good to interfere with someone else's free will and choice, because it's a negative practice. It's going to create some negative karma. It's going to create some ties, and it's not good. Okay? So that was number 4. Now, rule number 5, do not use psychic tools without properly learning how to do so. And I'm talking, yes, I'm talking pendulum, okay? I'm talking tarot cards. You see, I have all this here. I use these tools. Of course, I use them. Tarot cards, crystals, right? Any of these tools can be misused and used well. As we know, a tool can be used for good or for bad. A knife can be used to kill someone or to cut broccoli, right? So if you're new to this specifically, or if you are starting to use tools for connection to the other side to get messages, get trained, take a course, know how to do it properly. Don't just start sitting there and just asking questions and using the pendulum. That is very dangerous. Because if you don't know how to do it properly, if you don't have a proper frame of reference of what you can ask and what you can't ask, then you will get someone from the other side answering you. If you ask, there will always be an answer, but how do you know who's answering you? And if it's correct, how do you know if your frame of reference is on point or not? So you can't just grab the pendulum and say, oh, okay, I'll just ask. So, okay, am I going to get sick tomorrow? Yes or no? Am I going to live to 100? That's total rubbish, guys. That's rubbish. You can't do that. Okay, so for the pendulums, specifically for yes and no answers, a really strict frame of reference is important. Also, when you're using the pendulum, you have to know what point you're accessing. All right, so that's a very important point with these tools. When you're using tools to ask spirit, you have to define who spirit is. Right? Who is spirit? The other side is big. There is good, there is bad. There's angels, there's spirit guides, there's demons, there's your higher self, there's negative entities, there's also randomness. So using tools, don't just grab them and start asking and going crazy on it. Inform yourself. Take a course. Get your frame of reference. Start slowly. Don't start going crazy with it, right? I use these tools, but before I used any tool, I had 20 years of spiritual seeking, searching, reading books, meditating, doing all these things, getting grounded, getting informed, knowing what the other side is all about, slowly growing my spiritual practice, because you can't use a shortcut. A lot of you are like, oh, I'm spiritually awake. Let's ask the cards. Oh, let's do this. That's a shortcut. No spiritual shortcuts. That's part of that rule. The spiritual path takes a little bit of time. It takes practice. It takes education. It takes meditation. It takes visualizing. You can't just use the tools without having done anything else. So that is really important. So that's that rule number 5. Also, one hard, fast rule: do not use the Ouija board. No matter what. No. I don't care what you say. Don't use it. There's a reason I'm saying this. Do not use the Ouija board or anything like that, okay? No spirit guide or angel wants to talk to you through that of the light. They don't. You're going to just get negatives or mischievous, strange spirits. Don't do it, all right? Just trust me on this one. If you have one, burn it. Don't give it away. If you have a lot of money, go into your next toy store, buy them all and burn them all, okay? That's what I have to say to that. Okay. Rule number 6, when you are doing your spiritual practice and asking for yourself or for others any information, don't double check. Don't do multiple readings. If you don't like the result, oh, let's do another card reading, let's ask again. Don't double check, because every time you are double checking and checking again and asking different readers and getting different opinions, you will get a different answer, because spirit, no matter where you're tapping into, works on your intention, right? What you believe is always true in the end. So you don't want rubbishy answers to come true. So if you are asking, let's say you're asking, is this my soulmate? Which is a stupid question anyways, but okay. Or am I meant to be with this person? Or what is going on with my relationship? You ask the cards and you're like, tomorrow I'll ask again. And then you book a reading, I'll ask there. Each time you ask, you are telling spirit, I don't believe that, I want another answer. That is your intention. You will get that second answer and the third and the fourth. In the end, you'll be all confused and you'll be going crazy. All right, so don't keep doing readings for yourself and asking the same thing over and over. Don't do it, right? Stick with one thing. Once you have a very good access point, once you know you're getting some good information, once you know within yourself you can trust what you're getting and you're getting an answer, stop and just leave it there and just sit with it for a while, okay? So that is really important. Don't keep doing more and more and more readings all the time. And that gets into that psychic addiction, which I will talk to in the next video, all right? Okay, so now we're getting to rule number 7. Rule number 7, don't give away responsibility of your choices to the other side. That's really important. I know we want guidance, we want answers. What should we do? Show us the way. What are we meant to do? Don't ask these questions and give away the responsibility of figuring it out for yourself, okay? A lot of us do this. We ask the cards, what are we supposed to do? Choice A or choice B, and we ask the cards or we ask spirit. And oftentimes we're asking questions that give away our free will and choice. We just don't want the responsibility of making a choice, so we leave it up to randomness or we leave it up to spirit. But your spirit guides will never tell you what to do, because you have to do it, right? If you ask the cards, the pendulum, or any other person perhaps in a reading, if you ask, what should I do? Tell me what to do exactly. The answer you're going to get is not going to be from divine love, light, and truth. The answer is going to be presented to you, because if you ask, you will receive, but it's not going to be the right answer, because neither your spirit guides nor your angels is going to tell you exactly what to do. You are here to figure out your path. You are here to experience life and figure out what it is that you want, what your talents are, what your purpose is. You have to do a little bit of that work too. Of course, you can confirm, you can ask in readings, and you can ask in your spiritual practices to maybe help you be aligned and give you like little signs and hints, and to orchestrate synchronicities, but don't leave life's big choices that you have to take. You have to make these choices. Don't leave those choices up to spirit, because they're not going to be correct, and it just doesn't work that way. All right, so what I'm getting at with point number 7 is, don't try to just abdicate responsibility over your life because you just don't know what to do. You're overwhelmed. You say, show me the way, or you are just passive. You say, okay, God will show me the way. And you just sit there passively waiting. It's not going to work. You have to figure it out. You cannot ever abdicate responsibility for your choices, for your actions, for your moving forward, for your purpose in life. You have to be proactive. You have to figure it out. And that's the hardest part. And that's why we get lost with the spirit world sometimes, or that's why we can get negatives come in and give us answers, because we want answers. We want to do it right. We want to make right choices. We want to make sure that we're not doing something wrong. So often it's like, what are we supposed to do? Often I get asked in my readings, who am I supposed to be with? What am I supposed to do? You have to figure it out. That's my answer. There is no supposed. There is no supposed. No one is up there writing this plan for you. You incarnated with a little bit of a plan, but you made that plan, leaving very open the subject matter, what you're going to choose to do, how you're going to do it. So it's for you to figure it out in this life. And you cannot just say, oh, I'll leave it up to God. No. That's very passive, and that can be dangerous, because again, you can be subject to negative information that can mislead you. So that is number 7. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you agree with what I've said. Do you have some other rules that you'd like to add, or do you think that what I'm saying is really not true? Let's start a discussion down below. I'd like to know your opinion, okay? So I wish you a beautiful, safe, wonderful weaving of your magic this winter solstice, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Love you all. Bye, Cosmic Empress.